All right, and 3, 2, 1. We are live. We are back for the afternoon race 2 of Giant Slalom for the U12 Rocky Mountain Division Championships up here at Powderhorn Mountain Resort. This morning it was a cold and cloudy. Now it is a cold and sunny afternoon. We are still getting people in position. We were scheduled to get started at 12:30. We might be a couple minutes behind, but not much. I think we're close. So hang tight with us as we get going here. Okay, I am sharing the YouTube link with WhatsApp right now. So if you see me looking down at my phone, that's what I'm doing. All right, just adjusted my little selfie camera here so you can see my cohort. Porter Gaines Landis! All right, so you saw me working on my clipboard I keep track of what's called the report by the referee, which is I keep track of gate disqualifications, did not starts, did not finishes. So I write down all the bibs and what the problems were. And then at the end of each run, I upload that information to the coaches so that if there is a protest, they can see quickly, if their racer has had trouble. Over here to my right is my clipboard that has my racer list, and that has quite a few names that have phonetic spelling so that I can try to announce them correctly, which is sometimes a challenge. I actually study in the evenings before the races to try to get the names correct. I don't always nail it. Hand timer, I like your jacket. You look good. But you might take a step back, a half a step back. Yes. Yeah. Do you have space to take a half a step back? Right? Yeah, that's good. You're totally out of frame there. Yeah, looks good. Okay, Forerunner 1. Sydney is getting ready to drop as a Forerunner. It is not Axel. We're not sure why that name is under Forerunner A, but here we go. First Forerunner on course. Okay, second Forerunner is on course. So I'm looking uphill right now. Now again, you guys can't see my setup, but I've got my live stream computer right here. I've got my results computer over here. I've got a monitor over here that's full size that shows the camera, so Porter and I can both see the camera. And we are in our little tent here. We took out the front wall, so we actually can see uphill now. Forerunner 1 gets a time of 58.39, 58.39 for Forerunner number 1.
Forerunner 1 is through the finish.
Okay, here we go. Forerunner 2. This is Eowyn from yesterday. Forerunner 2 gets a time of 57.08. Elizabeth Barney, bib 39, will be the first skier in the gate. Will be going down from here, 39, 38, 37. So that's going to be Elizabeth Barney, first racer. Jaslyn Spritzer, second. Reed Rinchler, third. So that is our top 3 starting today. So you guys watching can cheer for your favorite racer. I will be keeping an eye on the live chat, so let me know if you guys have any encouraging words for your racers. I will do my best. And Elizabeth Barney is on course, bib 39. Here we go. Jaslyn Spritzer next up in the start. So 39, 38 going downhill with the bib numbers. I have my goggles. All right, Jaslyn Spritzer on course. 30 seconds later, Reed Rinchler will be next to start. Elizabeth Barney should come into our view any second now. Okay, I just heard Jaslyn Spritzer ejected out of both of her skis at the start. Like her skis didn't even leave the gate. They're talking on the radio about it right now. Okay, sounds like they're going to give her a provisional rerun. So Jaslyn Spritzer gets a gimme here. At the finish, we had 39. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, Jaslyn Spritzer must have reconnected that quickly. Okay, again, at the finish, Elizabeth Barney, bib 39, gets a time of 58.56. Jaslyn Spritzer, amazingly, back in the start, got her skis back on and cycled back into the start in about a minute. You know, the course is so slippery. If you went face first and left your skis behind, I don't know how you'd come to a stop. This race course is like a block of ice today. It's been super warm for a week, melted thoroughly, and then last night froze hard. And you can't hardly walk across this thing without slipping out. It is fast and firm. Okay, Reed Rinchler in the start gate again. Jaslyn Spritzer on course, 20 seconds in. So Reed is 10 seconds away from starting. All right, Reed Rinchler on course. Kristen Sung in the start gate. I like it when the jury is friendly to like little mistakes like that Jaslyn made. Now sometimes I have racers that just flat out lie to me, that miss a gate, and they tell me that, you know, I should get a time. But we try to keep wraps on that stuff. Okay, let's see here. We've got Jaslyn Spritzer, bib 38, with a time 59.27. Kristen Sung on course at the top, 20 seconds until Annika Toland starts. All right, so parents watching, it is a little helpful if you know your racer's bib number to throw it in the chat. It helps me find them so I know when they're coming and going. I don't have the bibs and names memorized. I don't see them until they pop up on my screen. Okay, Elena Smith in the start gate. Annika Toland on course. Kristen Sung nearing the bottom. At the finish, we just had bib 37. Reed Rinchler with a 106.39, 106.39. I've got a chat coming in here from Christina. Let's go, Nicole LaBelle from Murray. Nicole LaBelle is bib 19. We are headed down towards Nicole right now. All right, at the finish, bib 36, Kristen Sung with a time of 58.86, 58.86. Annika Toland coming to the bottom. Elena Smith on course. Sydney Adam next up in the start. Okay, Sydney Adam on course. Harper Hollowell in the start gate. At the finish, bib 35, Annika Toland with a 101.72, 101.72. Bib 34 is next up in our screen there.
You might warn my hand timer that Sydney is only 15 seconds.
Harper Hollowell on course. Amelia Backus in the start gate. At the finish line, bib 34, Elena Smith, 103.03. That was my Eric's playlist. Okay, Sydney Adam, bib 33, with a time of 1 minute, 0.48, 100.48. Harper Hollowell on course. Amelia Backus on course. Millie Waugh next up in the start gate.
This is not better.
No, it's not better, but it has. Okay, Millie Waugh on course at the top. Naomi Sill next up in the start. That's bib 219, Naomi Sill in the start. Finishing just now, bib 32, Harper Hollowell going 101.54, 101.54. Amelia Backus in sight, coming around the bend here. We've got a new course set this afternoon. The race is in a different, like a completely different part of the big wide course here. We were up on Bill's Run, is the race course run today. At the finish, Amelia Backus, bib 31, with a time of 58:41. 58:41. Millie Waugh on course. Naomi Sill at the top on course. Sloan Dvorkin next up in the start. And here comes Millie Waugh right now. Millie got a good run going here. Look at this time. Millie goes 52:54. Fastest for sure. That time is going to hold up for a while. Millie Waugh, bib 30 with a 52:54. Sloan Dvorkin on course. Daphne Molk next up in the start. Naomi Sill coming into our sight any second now. Looking uphill. There's Naomi. Okay, Daphne Molk on course at the top. Ava Strout in the start gate. Naomi Sill on my screen shows bib 219 with a time of 106.83. 106.83. Oh, that's the same as 29. I get it. Bib 29 with the 1 in the middle. We were lacking bib 29. All right, Ava Strout on course at the top. Monroe Mangelson in the start gate. Coming to the finish, Sloan Dvorkin, bib 28, coming at us. And Sloan, bib 28, with a time of 1:12.28. That's 1:12.28. Here comes Daphne Molk, bib 27, coming at us. Ava Strout in the start, or Ava on course at the top. Monroe Mangelson on course right now, just started. Phoebe Wassner next up in the start. At the finish line, bib 27, Daphne Molk with a time of 1:01.80. That's 1:01.80. Phoebe Wassner in the start gate. Phoebe starting any second now. All right, Phoebe's on course. Amelia Schwartz next up in the start. Nearing the finish here and getting through is bib 26, Ava Strout, 1:06.24. 1:06.24. Amelia Schwartz, 15 seconds from starting. Monroe Mangelson coming into our view here. This is bib 25 headed to the finish. Low and wide, looking really fast. Look at that. Monroe Mangelson, bib 25 with a 56.87, goes into the second place position currently. Phoebe Wassner on course. Amelia Schwartz at the top. Brianna Vignali in the start gate. Okay, Brianna Vignali. 5 seconds to start. Brianna on course at the top. Valentina Kawamura next up in the start. At the finish, bib 24, Phoebe Wassner, 1:02.91. 1:02.91. Phoebe, you've got someone cheering for you here. Aaron Wassner, go Phoebe on the YouTube chat. Just saw you come through. Valentina Kawamura on course at the top. Millie Eberly in the start gate. At the finish, we just had bib 23. Amelia Schwartz, 56.98. 56.98. Millie, 10 seconds to start. Coming into our site next is bib 22. 22, Brianna Vignali. Millie Eberly on course. Nicole LaBelle next up in the start. Mid-course, Valentina Kawamura. At the finish line, here comes bib 22. Brianna Vignali with a 1:10.07. 1:10.07. All right, 10 seconds till Nicole LaBelle starts. in our view here. Valentina Kawamura, bib 21, nearing the finish line in a tuck, reaching for the finish. 101.92, 101.92. Valentina Kawamura, bib 21. Bib 20 next up in our sight. Nicola Bell 19, top of the course. Cecilia Valentino is in the start. Parents and athletes, remember to keep that finish area clear so it's safe for the racers coming through. All right, Cecilia Valentino on course the top. Maddie Waldron next up in the start. At the finish, we just had bib 20. Millie Eberly with a 1:00.94. That's 1:00.94. Before her, Valentina Kawamura, bib 21, did a 1:01.92. Looking uphill, Nicola Bell looking fast. Bib 19 with a time of 56.82, going into the number 2 position of the top. Maddie Waldron is on course. Alexandra Tino is in the start gate. The start gate here for locals is up just below the cutoff to lower equalizer, the lower equalizer cutoff. So this is a big run because we are all the way down almost at the complete bottom of Bill's Run. There's only, 50 yards below us to complete Bill's Run where it flattens out. So big, giant, fat run here. Bib 18, Cecilia Valentino with a time of 57.02. Alexandra Teno on course. Reese Tura in the start gate. Maddie Waldron coming into our view any second now. Here comes bib 17. 10 seconds till Reese Tura starts. Here comes Maddie Waldron. Visually looks fast. Maddie Waldron 17 with a 58.67. Not bad, not bad. 58.67 for bib 17. Reese Tura on course. Anise Adams in the start.
So it was actually really quite good.
Here comes bib 16, Alexandra Teno. And Alex Teno, bib 16 with a time of 59.42, 59.42. Adams on course. Grace Mara next up in the start. Reese Tura, looking for her coming over the knoll in front of me. As a reminder, looking uphill, the camera makes it look flat, but it's actually really steep right here. So the skis, there's a lot of speed here. Grace Mara on course to the top. Brooklyn Beckerman in the start gate. At the finish, we just had bib 15. Reese Tura with a time of 58.60, 58.60. Bib 14. Okay, Adams in sight. Brooklyn Beckerman on course at the top. Ariana Laro will be next up in the start. At the finish, bib 14, Anise Adams, 105.36, 105.36. Ariana Laro, 10 seconds to go. This is Grace Mara, bib 13, headed to us. Grace carrying good momentum. Grace Mara, bib 13 with a time of 59.19, 59.19. Billy Dorado Boysen in the start. Ariana Laro on course. Brooklyn Beckerman next into our screen. There she is. And Billy Dorado Boysen on course on the top. Quinn Tetuan next up in the start. At the finish, bib 12, Brooklyn Beckerman with a 56.69. Okay, zoom in my camera angle in so you can see him a little better, hopefully. Ariana Laro, bib 11 with a 58.75. 58.75 for Ariana Laro. Quinn Tetuan on course. Sophie Verrier next up in the start. Looking uphill, looking for bib number 10, Billy Dorado Boysen. Okay, Sophie Verrier on course. Ava Black next up in the start. This is bib number 10, reaching low. Bib number 10, Billy Dorado Boysen with a 106.32, 106.32. Ava Black, 10 seconds to start. Quinn Tetuan coming into our screen right there. I hear cowbells behind me for Quinn. Winter Park crew, very supportive of their kids. And there is Quinn, bib 9, with a 105.53. Over here on the YouTube chat, bib 9, have a good run, Quinn, from Grammy and Papa T on the YouTube chat. Oh, someone hits a gate heavy. I heard it, didn't see it. That was Sophie Verrier, bib 8. Clips a gate, but gets a time of 58.16. 58.16. Lillian Duerk on course. Freya Storhaug in the start. Ava Black nearing the bottom. So we are going down in times. So Eleanor Souter, bib 59. Marcy, watching from Rhode Island. Marcy, Eleanor will be in about, I'm going to say roughly 20 racers. So 10 minutes from now. Should be getting close. At the finish, bib 7, Ava Black with a 59.17. Lillian Duerk coming into our screen in a second. Freya Storhaug on course. Avery Dye next up in the start gate. Again, those last few racers through, bib 9, Quinn Tetuan with a 105.53. Bib 8 with a 58.16, and then bib 7, Ava with a 59.17. We can see Lillian Duerk, bib 6, headed to us here. That's bib 6. Lillian Duerk with a 106.54. 106.54. Iris Stoller in the start gate. Avery Dye on course at the top. Freya Storhaug coming into screen any second now. There she is. Iris Stoller on course at the top. Joan Girard in the start gate. That's bib number 2. Remember, bib number 1, we're going to cycle backwards to the beginning, which is bib 77, Kayla Shine. At the finish line, Freya with a time of 109.34, 109.34. Avery Dye comes into screen quickly. Avery Dye, bib 4, with a time of 58.31. Joan Girard on course at the top. Charlotte Miller in the start gate. All right, Iris Stoller. Crowd is getting loud down there for Iris Stoller, bib 3 with a 59.84. Up at the top, Charlotte Miller on course. Kaya Shine in the start gate. Finishing my afternoon coffee there. Okay, Kaya Shine on course at the top. Caroline Owens next up in the start. At the finish line, we just had bib 3, Iris Stoller with the 59.84. Then Joan Girard, bib number 2 with a 106.15. Charlotte Miller, bib number 1 is the next up in our sights. Here comes the number 1 bib. Charlotte Miller racing to the finish. 58-32, 58-32. Caroline Owens on course at the top. Danny Peterson in the start gate. Iris Stoller. Smiths says, get after it. Iris, good run. Iris did that 59.84 a second ago. Kaya Shine coming in with good speed. 54.06 goes into the 2 spot. Shine, bib 77, fast enough into the number 2 position. Currently, Millie Waz got the lead with the 52.54, but Shine had a great run. Up at the top, Danny Peterson on course. Quinn Ebner next up in the start. Caroline Owens coming into sight any second. All right, Quinn Ebner on course at the top. Evelyn Clark next up in the start. At the finish, bib 76, Caroline Owens with a 101.16. 101.16. Danny Peterson next up. These are a few coaches coming through, slipping out the ruts in the course, although I imagine there's not many. I skied the course at the break, and it is firm and fast right now. Really frozen surface. I think this is what the ski racers really enjoy to race. I'm not sure it's my personal favorite for fun, but it is a fast surface. Speaking of fast, Danny Peterson, bib 75 with a 103.09. 103.09. Hayden Chakowski in the start gate. Evelyn Clark on course. Quinn Ebner next up in our sight. There she is. Quinn Ebner coming through these last few gates to the finish. Bib 74. Quinn with the 57.95. 57.95 for bib 74. Up at the top, Emma Caldwell, bib 71, is in the start. All right, Emma's got a cheering section from Rick on YouTube. Says, go Emma Monster. And Evelyn Clark, Emma Caldwell on course. Smith Stern next up on the start. Hayden Chakowski next up into the finish. At the finish, we just had bib 73. Evelyn Clark, 55.39. Get after it, Iris. Let's go, Kibi. Is that right? Smiths? Kibi. I don't know. Reading what they wrote. Hayden Chakowski, bib 72, with a good time, 56.14 into the 4th position with the 56.14. Smith Stern on course. Alexandra Zetseva in the start. Emma Caldwell, bib 71, next into our sights. Alexandra Zetseva on course. Emmeline Springer next up in the start. Coming to the finish is bib 71. That's Emma Caldwell with a time of 1:09.32. 1:09.32. Smith Stern next up in our sight. Alexandra Zetseva mid-course. Emmeline Springer, 10 seconds to start. Emmeline on course. Ella Spraycar next up in the start. All right, I got it, Smiths. KB. Let's go, KB from Smith on the YouTube chat. Ella Spraycar, 10 seconds to start. Emmeline Springer, top of the course. Alexandra Zetseva coming into screen. We just had bib 69. Smith Stern with a time of 1:04.63. 1:04.63 for Smith Stern. Alexandra Zetseva, bib 68, turns a 57.16. Ella Spraycar on course. Imogene Harney in the start gate. Emmy Springer I looked uphill. I liked the form. I liked the time. 53.18 goes into the second position. Emmy Sprenger, bib 67, 53.18. Up in the start, Ainsley Fleming is loaded in the gate. Imogene Harney on course. Ella Spraycar next up into our screen. This is bib 66 we're looking for. 66 will be the next through. There's Ella right there. Up at the top, Ainsley Fleming on course. Tegan Colliander next up in the start. At the finish, Ella Spraycar, bib 66 with a 1 minute .93, 1:00.93. Here comes Imogene. Low and fast. That's a good one for bib 65. Imogene Harney, 54.34 goes into the number 4 spot. Fourth position currently, 54.34 unofficially. Tegan Colliander on course. Amelia Shank next up in the start. Looking uphill for bib 64. Ainsley Fleming next into view. Here she comes. Amelia Shank, 5 seconds to start. Tegan, mid-course. Ainsley Fleming coming to the bottom here. Bib 64 with a time of 1:02.41. 1:02.41. Cloud comes over. Sun goes away just a little bit here. Avery Wallen in the start gate. Amelia Shank on course. Avery's 5 seconds from starting. Looking uphill, I see Tegan Colliander, bib 62. Next up in the start will be Eleanor Souter.
6-1 will not finish.
Okay, 6-1. Amelia Shank having trouble mid-course. Out of my sight. Bib 6-1 is going to be a did not finish, I believe. At the finish, who did finish, Tegan Colliander, bib 62, 1:04.47. 1:04.47 for Tegan. Eleanor Souter in the start, and Eleanor on course. Riley Haynes next up in the start gate. All right, bib 62. Let's go, Tegan, from Gary Colliander on the YouTube chat. Tegan says, "Thanks, Gary. Keeping it real." No, she didn't say that. I'm talking on her behalf. I can't hear her. I'm just kidding. Okay, Riley Haynes on course to the top. Francina Jordan next up in the start. Coming through the finish is bib 60. Avery Wallen, 1:02.42. 1:02.42 for Avery. Riley Haynes on course. Francina Jordan, 10 seconds to start. Eleanor Souter looking powerful, skiing powerful, and getting a good time for it. Bib 59, Souter with a time of 55.82. 55.82, sixth position currently. Georgia Riati in the start gate. Francina Jordan on course. Riley Haynes into view right now. Sees the finish line, pulls into the tuck. Does Riley Haynes. Tucks her head, reaches all the way. I like it. 56.21. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can. Okay, we prefer the skiers finish skier right, not skier left when they're out. That's bib 61 slipping by us there. All right, Lucy Vasquez in the start gate. Georgia on course. Jordan, 57, coming into view. Last skier through, 58, was Riley Haynes with a 56.21 in the 8th spot. This is bib 57, Francina Jordan with a 1 minute .31, 1:00.31. Lucy Vasquez on course. Uli Bauer in the start gate. Sun went away. I started getting colder immediately. Oh, here's a skier finding some edge angle. Pulling in the middle. Bib 56 giving it all she's got. Georgia Rayati 55.75. 55.75 into sixth position for Georgia, bib 56. Uli Bauer on course. Isla Heroin in the start gate. Okay, Isla 10 seconds from starting. Lucy Vasquez, holding lots of entry speed here. That's a good run for Lucy, bib 55. 56.71, 11th place currently. Alexander Steensland next up in the start. Isla on course. Uli Bauer coming into our screen. This will be 54. Bib 54 looking uphill. There she is, Bauer, bib 54. On course to the top, Alexander Steensland. Neve Moulton next up in the start. Bib 54, Uli Bauer with the time of 1:05.39. 1:05.39. Moulton, 5 seconds to start. Isla Heron in sight here. This is bib 53, 5-3. Up the top, Gabrielle Kozicki loaded in the start gate. At the finish, bib 53, Isla with a time of 1:08.46. 1:08.46. Gabrielle Kozicki, 5 seconds to start. Alexander Steensland from Summit, bib 52, coming into the finish here. 1 minute, 0.03, 1:00.03 for Alexander Steensland. Kozicki on course to the top. Reese Stockhausen in the start gate. Neve Moulton in sight to a cheering crowd. Reese Stockhausen on course to the top. Margot Weber next up in the start. At the finish, Moulton, bib 51 with a time of 1:04.57. 1:04.57. Margot Weber in the start. 5 seconds to start for Margot. Gabrielle Kozicki inside already. Gabrielle must be going fast. This looks good. Bib 50, 50 with a 58.29. 58.29. Pippa McGlintsey next up in the start. Margot Weber on course to the top. Reese Stockhausen, bib 49, coming into view any second. So on the YouTube feed, you guys can see Porter over here, and he is talking constantly with Start. They are communicating they kind of never stop talking. They don't use a radio. Radios are one-way transmission. They use a wired two-way transmission comms system where it really feels more like a telephone, but it's not a telephone. Mary Grace Crump is next up in the start. Reese Stockhausen. Whoa, what is going on here? Margot Weber coming in so fast. Okay, let's get caught up here. Reese Stockhausen, bib 49 with a time of 1:13.05, but hot on her heels, Margot Weber goes into the 2 spot, 53.06. Good enough for second place for Margot Weber, bib 48. Right behind Millie Waugh in the number 1 spot with that 52.54. Up at the top, Mary Grace Crump on course. Bergen Gilligan in the start gate. Pippa McGlintsey. Uh-oh, what happened to my camera? All right, Pippa McGlintsey, bib 47 with a time of 1:05.40. 1:05.40. Corey Bomarito next up in the start gate. Bergen Gilligan on course. Mary Grace Crump in sight. This is bib 46 coming to us. Bib 46, Mary Grace with the time of 1:05.95, 1:05.95. Corey Bomarito on course. Bryn Barrowclaw, 5 seconds to start. Uh-oh, skier down. Skier down. This is Bergen Gilligan, bib 45. Yeah, bib 45. Bergen Gilligan gathering her ski. Bryn Barrowclaw held in the start. We still have Corey Bomarito racing on course. Bib 45 getting her ski back on. Looks like she's out of the race line. Looks good. This is safe. Okay, bib 44 coming through the finish. Bib 44 is Corey Bomarito with a 1:10.35, 1:10. Skier, exit right, please. Exit right. Exit right. If you can exit safely, you're okay. What? If you can get through safely, you're okay. Okay. Bryn Barrowclaw coming into, you have a minute. Bib 45, you can go. You got time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Good job. Okay, Baker McDonald in the start gate. Bryn Barrowclaw on course. Okay, over here on skier's left, we have a gangle of wires. I do have them all trenched in, but there's edges, and if a skier were to try to make a turn and edge in below the snow, they could cut our wires. I've got a speaker below me for the announcement, announcing to the live people in the finish corral. And then I've got my internet wire to the Starlink that's down below us.
There's definitely something wrong with your camera. It's super pixelated.
I think the camera is just catching a sun ray just right. I don't know. It looks medium.
You can just go check it.
I'll check it in between runs. Okay, Bryn Barrowclaw, bib 43, 1:08.29. 1:08.29. Sadie Helmel in the start gate. Baker McDonald on course. Bryn Barrowclaw, bib 43, came in with that 1:08.29. Corey, bib 44, was a 1:10.35. Mary Grace Crump, bib 46, was a 1:05.95. Okay, Sadie, 15 seconds to start. Baker coming into screen.
I can't read community.
Yeah, forgive me for what's going on with the camera. I'll go fix that focus issue at the break. Okay, Sadie on course. Final racer, Piper Stokes, bib 40 in the gate. Sadie on course. At the finish, we just had bib 42, Baker McDonald, 1:07.93. The camera is trying to autofocus on something near it. Does that lens look clear, you guys? Or is it foggy? I don't know what's going on with it. Yeah, it's you're clear, just the course is blurry. That's all right. I'll come adjust it in a second.
It's probably trying to focus like right there, maybe on him because he was just.
Okay, Ski Fast Sadie from Kristen Brownson. That's Sadie on course right now. Oh, I'm sorry, Sadie, yeah, coming through the finish. And Piper Stokes, last skier, 4-0 on course, final skier of the second run for the women. Sadie bib 41 with a 1 minute .76, 1:00.76 for Sadie. I've got Go Sadie Tear It Up on the YouTube chat from Shay Helmel. Great skiing, Jimmy Dean Harney. Ski Fast Sadie from Kristen Brownson.
4-0 middle fault.
Okay, looking uphill. Piper Stokes coming into shot.
4-0 lower, no fault.
Piper Stokes, bib 4-0. Okay, Piper Stokes, bib 4-0 with the time of 1:02.27. That's 1:02.27.
Matthias Cole. Yeah, I tried putting a little rubber band. Assuming that should be 123 with a
Okay, forerunners at 123, race start 125. We got a few minutes here. What you see me doing is finishing my report by the referee.
Yeah, in the like one.
I'm listening to the radio here. Seriously, dude.
You should
It's
have
fine.
chased me all over the place.
No.
Last time I did.
No, I got this one prepped for boys, and we're ready to go.
Cool. All right.
No, sorry to make you walk. Be careful. Edge in. Okay, we are
Is it Axel now?
getting close.
All right. I don't know.
Camera has been adjusted. Is that an actual forerunner?
No.
Okay.
Along with Owen and Tony.
They're doing start tests.
There's an Arnie. There's an Arnie in here too.
We are waiting on a little bit of coursework to be completed before we start the afternoon runs. Okay, race course is being cleared on the radio, starting from the bottom, cleared to the top. We are ready for the first forerunner.
I came, I joined in. I'm from pitch clear.
Okay, I believe we're starting the afternoon run with Noah Morty, bib 136.
We got Sydney on course.
Looking uphill, first forerunner Sydney is on course.
Third forerunner bailed out, so we only have two forerunners.
Okay, 2 forerunners before we get started. Okay, looking on the YouTube chat. Nothing new yet.
Final forerunner on course.
Okay, second forerunner on course. Are your finishes unlocked? Okay, I got my new ref report ready to go. Got my list of racers ready to go. Ready for this second GS run for the men. And forerunner comes through with a 59.38, 59.38 for forerunner 1.
138 DNS. 138.
Okay, we are starting off. Bib 138, Andrew Souls is going to be a DNS for this run, which is why we're starting a little higher on the list than maybe we would with a normal butterfly. Okay, second forerunner through, second forerunner with a 1 minute, .82. And what's up with 137? So yes, this is Noah on course already. We are racing in the afternoon, 136, Noah Morty on course. Next up in the start gate, Kieran Madondai in the start. 5 seconds to start. The sun is shining, but it is still cold out here. I've got all my layers on. Kieran Madondai on course. Eli Feroldi in the start gate. Okay, Eli. 5 seconds to start. Looking uphill, we see bib 136, Noah Morty in sight here. Gabe O'Connor next up in the start gate. And Noah, bib 136 with a time of 1:06.63. 1:06.63. I heard that. Awards will be on the deck of main Powderhorn. There was some question because of the party that was going on if there's going to be space for us to have our awards on the Powderhorn deck, and there is, so we will have awards there. Gabe O'Connor on course at the top. Declan Short next up at the start. Coming to the finish line, this is bib 135. Kieran Madondai.
132 will not start.
Bib 132 will not start, switching to 131. Micah Safer in the start gate. Okay, back to the finish here. 135, Kieran Madondai with a 107.21. 107.21. Eli in sight right now. This is bib 134 coming at us. Gabe O'Connor mid-course. Micah Safer on course at the top. Oliver Lake is next up in the start gate. At the finish, 134, Eli Feroldi with a time of 103.75. 103.75. Gabe O'Connor, bib 133, coming into sight here. Gabe looking good with a 59.81, 59.81. Puts Gabe currently in the number 1 position. Oliver Lake on course at the top. Felix Locker next up in the start gate. Felix Locker on course. Callum Murkison in the start gate. At the finish, bib 131, Micah with the time of 103.65. 103.65. Callum Murkison in the start. Working our way backwards on these bib numbers. Oliver Lake looking low and fast. 58.91 goes into the number 1 spot for now. Bib 130, Oliver Lake, 58.98. Callum Murkison on course. Lincoln Hamilton in the start gate. All right, on the YouTube chat, let's go. Let's go Noah. Go Gabe. That's Noah from Smith. And Jason Cowie, go Gabe. Felix Locker, bib 129. Whoa, look at this time. 51.21. Fastest, way into the number 1 spot. Felix Locker with a great run. 51.21. I had to double check my numbers to see if that was real or not. Lincoln Hamilton on course at the top. Eli Greenberg next up at the start. Callum Murkison coming in fast also. Bib 128. With a 58.62. 58.62 for Callum. Number 2 in the 2 spot currently. Steele Sabella in the start gate. Eli on course. Lincoln next up into our sight coming over the knoll. We're looking for bib 127. Here comes Lincoln Hamilton. Up at the top, Steele Sabella on course. Graham Rowland next up in the start. Coming across the finish line, bib 127. Lincoln Hamilton with a 103.57, 103.57 for Lincoln. Graham Rowland, 15 seconds out from start. Eli Greenberg, bib 126. With a good time, keeping it under a minute, 59.85 for Eli Greenberg, bib 126, 59.85. Graham Rowland on course the top. Benedict Ulmer next up in the start gate.
Probably manage it. Maybe we can get one of the course workers to bring one.
Benedict Ulmer
We're going to spool from the top.
getting ready to start. Benedict on course. Bodie Bauer next up in the start gate. At the finish line, bib 125. Steele Sabella with a time of 1:01:35, 1:01.35. Graham Rowland next up into our view. That's bib 124 is coming over the knoll right now. Bodie Bauer getting ready to start. 5 seconds to Bodie's start. Benedict Ulmer mid-course. Dude, Graham Rowland looking like a race car. Low and aerodynamic. Bib 124 with a time of 59.68. 59.68. Okay, bib 123, Benedict Ulmer with a 59.02 for Benedict Ulmer, 123. Up at the top, Anthony Casano on course. Caleb Ketter next up in the start. Bodie Bauer coming into our sight, bib 122. I'm looking for 122. There's some dust as he comes over the knoll
Well, the last
into our vision. Ooh, Bodie has a little skid there. Bodie Bauer, 59.97 for bib 122, 59.97. Go, Bodie, cheering you on from Durango. Up, up, up from Joy Penelope. Let's go, Graham Rowland. Miller Sports is cheering for you.
the other ones down because then they'll just be at the top of the next.
Graham Rowland just had that 59.68 looking good. Caleb Ketter on course the top. Dane Fisher next up in the start. Coming at us fast, bib 121, Anthony Casano with a 59.72, 59.72. Dane Fisher on course. Charlie Quinn next up in the start.
Just the last empty on your way down, but you still have to
Charlie Quinn, 5 seconds to start. Here comes bib 120. Caleb Ketter into our view. Charlie is on course at the top. Luke Danzer next up in the start. Caleb Ketter, bib 120 with a time of 1:06:03, 1:06.03. For Benedict, bib 123, Stella and Bluey are cheering for you from Scott Ulmer. Go Team Telluride from Brad Larry. Go Gabe from Jason Cowie. Luke Atwood in the start gate. Luke Danzer on course. Charlie Quinn on course. At the finish, we just had bib 119, 119. Dane Fisher with a time of 56.90. Good enough to go into second position currently, 56.90. The wind is picking up. I got to hold some stuff down. All right, Charlie Quinn, bib 118, comes in at the finish, 56.96. That's a good one, goes into the third position. Charlie Quinn, third position currently. Luke Danzer coming to the finish. Gareth Mann in the start gate. Gareth on course. Simon Thiel next up in the start. Luke Atwood next up coming at us. We just had bib 117. Luke Danzer with a time of 57.92. Good enough for fourth. 57.92 for Luke. Simon Thiel in the start gate. Gareth Mann on course at the top. In our view right now is bib 116, Luke Atwood from Summit. Luke pulling into the tuck. Up at the top, Simon Thiel on course. James Cowie next up in the start. At the finish, we just had bib 116, Luke Atwood with a time of 1:01.41. Gareth Mann in our sight already. Bib 115, going fast, fighting for all the control and grip he can find with a great reach. I liked it. Gareth Mann, 54.57, looking like a pro out there, going into the 2 spot. Second position currently for Gareth Mann, bib 115. Again, Felix Locker holding down that 1 spot by a healthy margin with a 51.21. But Gareth Mann looking great doing that 54.57. James Cowie on course at the top. Murray Trosterman next up in the start. That's 113 James Cowie abandoned. James Cowie having trouble up there, bib 113. Okay, I got it. Murray Trosterman on course. Clay Conkling in the start gate. At the finish, we just had Simon Thiel, bib 114 with a 55.38. Good enough for the 3rd position currently. 55.38. That's a good one for Simon. Murray Trosterman, 23 seconds on course so far. Clay Conkling, 5 seconds from starting. Let's go, Gareth from Eli Dav. Let's go, Senior James from Jason Cowie. Soren Grisham in the start gate. Clay Conkling on course. Murray Trosterman in our sight right now. Bib 112. Yeah. You know what, you guys? When I see someone that's got a good reach, when I say reach, they reach low to the surface of the snow, and the timing of their reach is right at the finish line. I can tell that is an experienced racer. Speaking of which, Murray Trosterman goes 53.36. 53.36. Look uphill. You should have a skier any second now. Yep, you're good. Okay, number 2 position, Murray Trosterman, 53.36 for bib 112. Clay Conkling, 111. Next up to us, 110, Soren Grisham on course. Carter Purviance in the start gate, 109. This is bib 111. Clay Conkling coming into view at the finish is 1:03.75 for Clay, 1:03.75 for bib 111. Owen Wall in the start gate. Carter Purviance, top of the course. Next up into our vision is bib 110. That's 110, Soren Grisham coming at us right now. Miles Vanzara loading in the start gate. Owen Wall on course. At the finish, bib 110, Soren Grisham with a 1:03.36. 1:03.36. Miles Vanzara on course at the top. Jack Vanitos next up in the start gate. Carter Purviance, bib 109 with a time of 59.99. 59.99.
Came through the finish. When you see giant orange blocks.
Owen Wall, bib 108. Bib 108, Owen Wall with a time of 55.95. 55.95 for Owen Wall. Good enough for the 5th position for 108. Jack Vanitos on course. Brooks Brownson next up in the start gate.
Yeah, he doesn't appear to have done anything. He wasn't holding anything.
This is Miles Vanzara, bib 107. The crowd made a bunch of noise as Miles came in. 102.43. 102.43 for Miles. Brooks Brownson on course at the top. Cameron McCallum in the start gate. Jack Vanitos coming at us. Okay, Cameron on course at the top. William Hilzendagger in the start gate. At the finish, bib 106, Jack Vanitos with a 109.02. 109.02. Brooks Brownson in sight. This is bib 105. William Hilzendagger on course at the top. Lincoln Laurie next up in the start. At the finish, bib 105, Brooks Brownson, 101.97. 101.97 for Brooks Brownson. I've got a chat here. Let's go, Brooke. Go, Brooks, go, from Stephen Brownson, from Jason Cowie. Brooks has a lot of a big cheering section, both here in person and on the video feed. Cameron McCallum coming in, looking good, 104 with a 59.01, 59.01. Lincoln Laurie on course. Simon Vargas Miller next up in the start. Okay, Simon Vargas Miller, bib 101, will be the last in this bib order when we are transitioning to bib 175. Anito Munoz in a couple skiers. So, scorekeepers, hand timers, pay attention to these bib numbers as they come at us and change. This is bib 103, William Hilzendagger with a 110.29, 110.29. Nice job, Brooks, from Jason Cowie. Yep, okay. Ooh, Lincoln Laurie, I look up, visually going fast. Lincoln Laurie, bib 102 with a 54.02. Good enough for third position currently. 54.02. That's a good run from Lincoln Laurie. Up at the top, Antonio Munoz, bib 175. This is our first racer as the bibs change to that higher number. We're going backwards here. Henry Kasdan next up in the start, 174. Coming to us is bib 101, Simon Vargas Miller, last one in this bib order. 101, Simon Vargas Miller. Simon with the time of 1 minute, 0.84, 100.84. Antonio Munoz next up in our vision. Henry Kasdan on course. Asher Groman next up in the start gate. Here comes Antonio Munoz. That's bib 175. 175, Antonio Munoz with a 58.76. 58.76. Ansel Garrett in the start gate. Asher Groman on course at the top. Henry Kasdan in our sight right now is bib 174, Henry. Okay, Ansel Garrett on course. Ransom Pierce in the start gate. At the finish, Henry Kasdan, bib 174 with a 58.51. 58.51. Let's go, Dono. Up, up, up from Mom in Durango. Let's see. What bib is Donovan? Did he go already?
Yeah, Donovan, I believe, wins.
Asher Groman, bib 173 with a time. A good one. 54.76. 54.76.
168 is
All right, 168 Donovan coming up in a couple racers. Ansel Garrett on course. Ransom Pierce at the top. Grayson Smith is in the start gate. Here comes bib 172. Ansel Garrett, 172. With a good time, 56.64, goes into the 8th spot. 8th position currently for Ansel Garrett, bib 172. Grayson Smith on course at the top. Cooper Curry in the start gate. Here comes some course workers smoothing it out. Ransom Pierce, 171, is going to show up, going fast right behind him. Here comes Ransom. Ransom, Pierce, bib 171. Up at the top, Cooper Curry. On course, Donovan Frazier next up in the start.
Dono, his mother is.
Go Dono,
in
up,
Durango,
up,
and
from
she's
Durango.
four.
we are delivering Joy's message over the headset to Donovan. Go Dono, up, up, up from Mom in Durango. Okay, Ransom Pierce, bib 171 finishes with a 104.76. 104.76. Grayson Smith, bib 170, comes in at a 58.89. 58.89. Cooper Curry, mid-course. Donovan Frazier, on course. Thomas Down next up in the start gate. Cooper Curry, bib 169. So what we're looking for right now, coming into the finish area. Going fast. Smooth is fast for Cooper Curry. Bib 169 with a time of 56.54. Going into the 8th position currently. 56.54 is a good time. These are some course workers smoothing it out. Course workers look uphill. You'll be chased by a skier any second now. This is Donovan Frazier's.
Alright, tell him to exit right.
Here comes Donovan. He's got the smoothest course possible. And Donovan looking aggressive. Dang, punching for that finish line.
Why didn't I get a finish for him?
Check your B.
There for sure.
Here comes another one. Keep an eye on it. Okay, hang tight. Hang tight. We got a little timing glitch here.
Start copy, holding, bib 165.
Can you go check the phone?
Guys on the far side, can you check the poles for wiggle melt? I need those poles, just touch them gently, see if those finish eyes are wiggling. We missed a time on system A. We got system B time, which is fine. What is your system B time for 168? Okay, hang tight. I'll catch up all these times for you in just a second.
Do we have the hoods out on the timers?
Are those timers solid? Are those two poles not moving? Okay, we had a weird thing when all that big group of skiers came in. I think maybe somebody kicked up some snow on accident. We're okay. We're putting it back together right now. Okay, you ready for that number? So bib 16. Okay, we are fixed. Ready to resume. Go ahead and tell them on the radio.
No, I want to have a couple.
Oh,
things to make
wait. We want to do a couple tests on this finish. Not ready to resume. Hang tight. I got it.
I want you to check that pole too.
Okay, I got to check this pole near me. Okay, catching up. Donovan Frazier 57.36. Thomas down. Bib 167, 52.63. Goes into the number 2 spot. Thomas down. Barrett Groff is on course at the top. Dylan Anderson next up in the start. Bib 166, Jack Kofoid with a 56.36. A bunch of good times here. Up at the top, Dylan Anderson on course. Colin Crewman in the start gate. Yeah, Barrett Groff looking fast, and he breaks the barrier. Goes sub 50, 49.48. 49.48 is Barrett Groff. Is Barrett the one who did it this morning? I believe so. Bib 165, Barrett Groff goes 49.48. That was amazing. I look uphill. Looks like a bullet coming at me. Dylan Anderson on course. Colin Crewman on course at the top. Ingram Olsen next up in the start. Miller Sports, Ajax says, let's go Barrett, full send. I think you got what you were looking for, Miller Sports. Let's go Tommy Down. You got this, send it from Eli. I think I already said that one. Ingram Olsen on course at the top. Owen Holmes in the start gate. Coming to the finish here is Bib 164. Dylan Anderson with a time of 107.24. 107.24. Owen Holmes in the start gate, 10 seconds to start. Ingram Olsen mid-course. Coming to the finish here is Bib 163. Colin Crewman. Colin with the time of 58.30. 58.30 for Bib 163. Owen Holmes on course. Forrest Caneva in the start gate. This is Bib 162. Ingram Olsen. Ingram Olsen with a time of 1 minute, 0.19. That's 1:00.19. Finley Rosenthal in the start gate. Forrest Caneva on course. Owen Holmes, Bib 161, coming into sight right now. This is Owen Holmes. Keeping it together, pulling into that tuck. That's Bib 161. Owen Holmes with a time of 58.59. 58.59. Finley Rosenthal on course. Andre Illeri in the start gate. Forrest looking good here. That's Bib 159. Comes in with a 55.19, goes into 8th position currently, in 8th position. Andre Larry on course. Clayton Edwards in the start gate. Clayton Edwards on course at the top. Peyton Smith in the start gate. Finley Rosenthal, Bib 158. Coming into the finish. Finley Rosenthal, Bib 158 with a 1:09.08. That's 1:09.08. Clayton Edwards on course at the top. Peyton Smith, 5 seconds to start. Andre Larry coming in to the finish with a 1 minute, 0.83, 1:00.83 for Bib 157. Andre Illeri. Peyton Smith on course. Liam Tanis in the start gate. Go Fast Skateboard P from Smith. Clayton Edwards, bib 156. And Clayton Edwards, bib 156, with a time of 106.29. 106.29. Up at the top, Liam Tannis on course. Nicholas Kasdan in the start gate. Peyton Smith coming into screen here. This is bib 155. 155. Peyton Smith with a time of 57.61. 57.61 for Peyton. At the top, Nicholas Kasdan on course. Dustin Ward next up in the start. Dustin Ward starting in 5 seconds. Coming into the finish here is bib 154, Liam Tannis. Liam Tannis, 154 with a time of 101.34. 101.34. Luke Marshall in the start gate. Dustin Ward on course. Bib 153 next into our view. Nicholas Kasdan. Go Clayton from Aaron Wassner. Go Liam Go from Jackie Palmini. Luke Marshall on course at the top. Morrison Librand next up in the start. At the finish line, bib 153, Nicholas Kasdan with a 104.25. 104.25. This is bib 152, Dustin Ward at the finish line.
Yeah, we're going to just make two piles, one very.
Dustin Ward, bib 152 with a time of 59.85. 59.85. Morrison Librand on course at the top. Griffith Sherbier next up in the start. Look at this. Luke Marshall ripping. Bib 151, 53.38 goes into the 5th position. 53.38 for Luke Marshall. Griffith on course. Joaquin Schupp next up in the start. Okay, Joaquin Schupp in the start. Joaquin on course. Aiden Schmidt next up in the start. At the finish line here, that's bib 150, 150. Morrison Librand with a 103.35. 103.35. Griffith coming into screen here. Up at the top, Aiden Schmidt on course. Oliver Woods next up in the start. Coming across the finish line, we've got bib 149, Griffith Sherbier with a 104.78. 104.78. Oliver Woods, 10 seconds to start. Joaquin Schupp coming into screen. This is bib 148. Joaquin Schupp, bib 148 with a time of 108.81. 108.81. Jack Cowie, 10 seconds to start. Oliver Woods on course. In our sight right now is bib 147, Aiden Schmidt. Aiden looking good. Such a tight little aerodynamic ball is Aiden Schmidt, 58.98. Okay, we're getting close to the final 5. We will switch to double intervals, which will be 1 minute instead of 30 seconds. Ewan Dunlop, bib 144 in the start gate. Oliver Woods coming into our sight here. This is bib 146. Okay, 145. Having trouble up there. 145. Bib 145 disappears off my screen. Up in the start gate, Jack Hardy, 142. Ewan Dunlop, 144. So Oliver Woods was our last finisher through, bib 146 with a 59.93, 59.93. This is bib 145 coming down, exiting his run. All right, bib 145 was going for it, taking chances. Good job, buddy. We know you were going for it. Ewan Dunlop, bib 144, through the finish line. 54.90, that's a good time. 54.90, good enough for 9th position. Jack Hardy on course. Marcel Miracle in the start gate. Okay, Jack Hardy's been on course for 30 seconds. So Marcel Miracle's got 30 seconds to drop here. Okay, Jack Hardy coming into our view here. This is bib 142. Miracle, 5 seconds to start. Marcel on course at the top. Miro Mosconi in the start gate. Jack Hardy, bib 142, comes in with a 103.25, 103.25. Marcel on course. This is bib 140. Looks like we've got Griffin Curry coming up. And that may finish us out. Griffin Curry will be the final racer of this wonderful U12 Championship Series. Interesting snow conditions yesterday. Full melt. Full, like beyond spring conditions melt. Today, hard as a rock, solid freeze. Made for a pretty good race run, I see. Okay, on the live chat, Rip It Up Jack Attack from Cowie. I see you, Coop, from Bella. Okay, Miro Mosconi, 140 on course. Griffin Curry, bib 139, final racer in the gate. At the finish, Marcel Miracle, bib 141, with a time of 104.19. 104.19. I would probably say we'll do awards around 3 o'clock on the deck. We have to clean up all of this red B-net top to bottom, right and left. All has to get rolled up and taken down today. So our labor team is going to go crazy trying to clean up this big mess we've made of a race course. Okay, Griffin Curry is on course. Miro Mosconi, bib 140, comes through the finish, 104.42. Okay, Griffin Curry looking good, clean through the middle. This is bib 139 coming at us. Coming over the knoll. There he is. Griffin Curry finishing out our weekend strong. And there it is. Griffin Curry.
Copy. The course is closed. Thank you, everybody.
Griffin Curry, bib 139 with a great final run, 57.79.
Timing.
Listening to the radio.
Everybody, great job.
All right, Griffin Curry getting swarmed at the bottom, 57.79.
Good job. Great work. Great race.
That's what we're hearing over the radio. Great race.
Thank you, Powderhorn, for a great weekend. Appreciate all you do. Great job to Matthias and the crew. Nice work. Thank you.
All right, well, that will do it for us up here at Powderhorn Mountain Resort. Thank you so much for allowing us to host the U12 Rocky Mountain Division Championships. We will get organized and have results on the deck in around 3 o'clock. For Eric, Porter, and Sarah, signing off. See you next year.